everybody, I'm the Vacuuminator.
I'm Buster.
And this week in Toku, it's our final episode. Surprise, motherfuckers!
Or if not as much of a surprise if you've been following Vac's community tab.
Yeah, I guess we should say this is mostly my fault. We talked about this about a month and change ago, when I told the rest of Modular that I was planning to retire at the end of the year. But basically, there's no reason for the show to continue if there's not two hosts, and Buster was starting to feel some burnout themselves anyway, and we just figured because of a certain new release, this would just be the best week to go ahead and end it on, because it's immediately following my retirement announcement, and it happens to line up with that release.
Yeah, so a release I've already made a video on, but we'll go more in depth in this podcast.
Yeah, and it's also just we have appreciated all the support we've gotten for this show. It's also waned a lot in the latter half of this year, and just in general, it's never been like there's been a roaring, raucous, very loud audience. Like, it's been a few very dedicated people who, again, we really appreciate, but it's not enough to build a brand off of. And when you're starting to feel fatigue from almost 3 years of watching Tokusatsu every week at the same time, and doing the recording every week at the same time with periodic breaks here and there, it's kind of a not a hard choice to say, like, all right, this isn't worth doing anymore.
Yeah, also just talking about my Tokusatsu watching habits, I usually bulk. Before the show started, I took in the shows at bulk. Either I waited for them to finish, or I waited for 10 episodes to finish and then watch them, shotgun them in a weekend. And I think just watching them week to week isn't as optimal as I'd like it to be. So
yeah, it's. I'll definitely say with one of the shows this week, it's one of those shows where I'm like, if I was watching this at my own pace, not necessarily shotgunning or binging it, but if I was watching it at whatever my own pace is, I'd probably enjoy it more and be willing to continue with it at this stage. But as of now, I'm kind of wore out on it. And if you've been listening for a while, you probably know what show that is, but we'll talk about it when we get there. For right now, what have you been up to this week, Buster?
Mostly been watching some more modern Doctor Who. We're not going to talk about it in this final episode. That would feel very inappropriate.
Yeah.
But we're not going to continue that the gag from the last two episodes where we just talk about Doctor Who all of a sudden.
Yeah, British Kamen Rider.
Yeah. It's more British Ultraman, but that's a whole other conversation.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
What else? Finals week. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Did you just have yours, or are you having it right now?
Here's the thing with my finals. They're more final projects than finals. So I gotta start working on these projects more. After this podcast, it'll probably be a week of me trying to cram in a bunch of work. So
yeah, because I know everybody has them at slightly different times, but they're all around the start of the holiday season. I was talking to Database Ranger the other day, and he had his right before Thanksgiving, and my finals week is right now. So there is a lot of nervous energy around work right now, but I'm actually kind of excited because once it's done and all the kids are out of the way, I can get to a lot of stains and shit that have been bugging the hell out of me that I couldn't otherwise.
All right. I think that's it. That's all we've really been doing.
But hey, one thing that is going to continue to be here, even without This Week in Toku, is modular media. So if you enjoy modular media in general, not just me, not just Twit, it's gonna stick around after myself and this show are gone. So don't forget to support it in the algorithm, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, all that good stuff. I'm not gonna go through the whole plug and tug charade this week. Let's just get right on into the news, and our top story this week is we have the full solicitations for the Memorial Edition D-Sword Vega, and I think Bandai might have finally gotten me with one of these Memorial Editions.
It is a good toy. It's a good looking toy.
Yeah, it's gonna be like I think I checked the other day and I think it was like 140. I'm gonna check the conversion again real quick. Yeah, it's 135 USD to just buy it from Bandai. To ship it is of course going to be a lot more, but it's going to be even more in this case than it would be with most Sentai products because you're going to have to go through a middleman for this because it technically infringes on Hasbro's Power Ranger copyrights, so they can't ship it directly to the US.
Oof.
Yeah. So, in all likelihood, I'm going to be paying north of 200 for this thing, but I really fucking want it, Buster. I really fucking want it.
Maybe watch Dekaranger first so you can justify it.
Yeah, I might do that. I might do that. That might be happening soonish. But what else is happening soonish is Super 7 coming for your wallet yet again with another Godzilla toy. The Toho Ultimates Godzilla -1 got revealed, I think the same day the movie hit US theaters, correct?
Yep, correct.
And it looks about in line with what they've been doing for this line. All the articulation cuts look pretty similar to, I believe it was the '84 Godzilla they did first. And they haven't done a new Godzilla sculpt until now after making that. However, because of the differences in the proportions of this Godzilla to that one, this doesn't look like it's going to get nearly as much articulation range as that one got. And I already know from watching reviews that that one actually had more limited articulation than people were expecting. And it made a lot of people pretty upset because these things are $85.
Yeah, like I was about to mention, I know like Super 7's Godzilla line has had some controversy as of late in terms of like how well the figures are received. So
Yeah,
it's
like
like
the
I'm not like rushing to get this.
yeah, the Biolante straight up did not look like what they advertised.
Yeah, everyone hated the
That was
Biolante.
one of the worst toy releases of this year, bar none. But I mean, like, if you really like this design and you don't want to pay Monster Arts money, this might be an okay alternative if NECA doesn't end up doing one. However, it's just like to take another little dig. I'm sorry, but I still really question the choice to have a completely alternate head for the mouth being open instead of just putting a frickin' hinge in the jaw. That's
Yeah,
so weird to me.
the hinge would let for like more like articulation, I think, just more fun posing. So I don't get why.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully it's better than the first couple releases. Hopefully people like it. If you want to pre-order it, it's up at all the usual online geek crap stores, so go for it. But what I'm going to be going for is the full version of ChemyXStory, which is dropping in just a couple of days. Oh boy, am I excited to hear this.
Same. It's probably my favorite Reiwa opening, I'd say.
I don't know, man. I still fucking love Realize.
Realize is good. It just like Chem Story is like more the genre of music I like listening
Yeah.
to. So.
And that's funny coming from the two of us because I'm the pre-existing back on fan amongst us.
Yeah, true. Hey, it just they do good stuff.
Yeah. Have you listened to any of their other catalogs since since
No,
Gachard started?
I've listened to a couple back on songs. Let me see. I think I did I listen to one of their songs like a while ago. Let me check their discography real quick. Oh no, I remember listening to Chair because that was from they did a song for Geats.
Mm.
Remember?
Have you listened to A Daydreaming?
A Daydreaming, no.
That might
I
be
think
one
I
of my
listened.
favorites. I have it in my driving
I think
playlist.
I listened to one of their Gundam openings, but I don't know which one. They've done a lot of Gundam.
Mm.
So yeah. But
Yeah.
point is, they do good stuff. Go listen to back on.
Yeah, and go hit up your favorite middleman to buy the Geats and Gachard winter movie plushes that are happening. Taco will probably have them in a couple times over the next few
Yeah.
months.
I'm tempted to get the Buffa one. The Buffa one looks really. I just really like the Buffa
Yeah.
one.
They're all real cute. Oh man.
Yeah.
If I had the money and I liked Geats just a little bit more, I'd probably go in on these cuz I don't buy plushies super often, but when I do, I like to just go for all the ones I want and I would want all of these.
Yeah.
And hey, speaking of Geats merch, they're releasing a female coded version of the entry body that's being sold as Nago, but really it's so you have a body to put the other female rider heads that are coming in that big box of heads on it.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah, it looks fine. I don't really fucking care. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
also really don't fucking care about SH Figuarts Ultraman Zero clear color version and Ultraman Titus special clear color
Here's the
version.
thing. I kind of care about Titus because Titus is infamously like an Ultraman figure art that isn't of that's super expensive on the aftermarket. So this
Oh,
is
okay.
another chance for people to get it. I wish it wasn't special clear version. That was the only version because I know like clear parts are like very contentious with toy collectors. But
Yeah,
hey, if
they're
you want,
they're more predisposed to getting brittle over time.
yeah, but like if you need a Titus like right now, then I think this is your best option.
Yeah, it's just a shame that I also like I don't mind clear plastic when it's used for like windows on toys and stuff like that. Like I'm in the camp that likes clear plastic windows on Transformers. That's a very like you either love it or hate it type thing in that fandom. But when it's when it's just like a special alternate gimmick version of like it's the guy you like but you can kind of see through him, unless that's a guy who can turn invisible, I don't want that. I don't like how that looks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
uh,
Uh,
but hey, speaking of things that look kind of weird, we got the trailer for Kong X Godzilla or Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, the new fucking MonsterVerse movie. It's happening, boys. It do be happening.
Yeah, and everyone's making memes about Godzilla and Kong running. They're honestly really good memes. Like, they're
Yeah.
just
And that shot is probably the one thing in this that I was definitively like, I don't know about that, bro. The animation on Godzilla just looks a little bit awkward, in my opinion.
yeah. It's also just like going from -1, it's like very meticulous animation to this more like just money, throw it, Hollywood blockbuster kind of shit is a bit jarring.
Yeah, it's
Uh
also just slightly worrying because I think the director said like there are like full scenes in this movie that are just nothing but CGI watching the kaijus do their thing, which is like a cool concept, but you gotta really pull that off, bro. And I'm not confident, even though this trailer looks pretty good most of the time, I'm not confident you can.
yeah, it's just like especially if like it seems like it still might be a rushed production.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Like,
Baby Kong is a thing, so that's
yeah, there's no real semblance of a plot in this trailer other than Baby Kong and Evil King Kong exists.
yeah. He's called Scar Kong, aka, or as I'm gonna call him, Lanky Kong, but pissed off.
Lanky Kong get angry.
Yeah, Lanky Kong's crazy sister.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It looks like it'll probably be a fun, stupid time, and it's nice that we're getting a movie like this at the same time as
Oh,
Toho is doing like serious, heady, dramatic Godzilla films. But also, it's like it's hard to get excited for it after having just seen a Godzilla film that's that freaking good, you know?
yeah. I mean, I like the idea of giving Kong and Godzilla basically Dragon Ball power ups, and just
Yeah,
like that.
we were talking about that the other night. I love how like they're trying to do like the we're bringing these guys out for like their third or fourth consecutive movie. We got to freshen up the toy line somehow so people will still buy them. Make Godzilla slightly pink and give Kong a robot arm.
Yeah, freaking like yeah, it's funny. And it'll probably be a dumb fun movie. It'll probably be on par with the last one, which I like the kaiju scenes. Human shit was terrible in that movie. I'm sorry, it was real bad. But like I hope it's like the human writing is better.
See, I
Like
didn't mind the human writing in Godzilla versus Kong, but the stuff in this trailer does worry me in that department. Like it just kind of looks like actors you've never seen before and have no confidence in just saying random lines that only describe what the kaiju are doing.
yeah, I mean there is like a scene of one of the characters from Versus Kong, and he was one of the worst characters in that movie. So I'm like, we're really bringing him back. Like
Who
the
was that? I
conspiracy.
didn't cotton on to that.
The conspiracy theory guy.
Oh, the podcast guy.
Yeah, I hated that guy.
Was he the only guy they could get back?
I think.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown's not going to be in this fucking movie, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, the podcast guy. Maybe he'll have better writing, but I doubt it.
No offense, no like personal like you're ugly offense, but who the fuck decided that lady should have that haircut? That's a really bad fucking haircut. I'm sorry, it just is.
Which haircut are we talking about?
The lead white lady.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe just the costuming department wasn't having it that day.
Yeah. I'm not saying she looks ugly. I'm saying that haircut is a really weird fucking choice.
Yeah. I do kind of like the idea of giving Kong his own Manila. That's fun, but like we'll see how it pans out. Go see it in theaters. We're not covering that shit.
Yeah. Well, anyway, one last time, Buster, can you please take us on to the new releases?
All right. Some shows are approaching their end, while some shows are only halfway through, and some shows still in the first arc.
It's another fucking week.
One? Yeah, it's another week. Ultraman Blazar, episode 20, The Night the Insects Chirpin'.
This is a really good fucking episode, man.
Oh, yeah, I like this one a lot. It expands on a side character, gives really nice pathos, and just has cool action.
The only complaint I have with this episode is just, like, they didn't seed that Teraraki had a weird relationship with his dad early on, like they did with stuff with the other characters. We even saw him and Gento on the farm in one episode, and it seemed like they were just having a good old time being good old boys. So this kind of blindsided me, but I also kind of liked that it blindsided me, and we got to just spend a whole episode learning about and exploring this relationship.
Yeah. It's just really wholesome.
And it's very realistic, where it's just like this old fucking boomer wants his kid to take over the family business, and he doesn't realize that the work he's chosen is actually important until he sees it in action and sees the results of it and gets to benefit from it. And at the same time, the play subplot made me giggle a whole lot.
Yeah,
good episode.
Yeah, good episode. I don't really got much to say. I'm guessing because it's only like 5 episodes left, we're gonna finish it both like on our own time.
Yeah, this felt like this was very clearly we're gonna take a quick breather and then we're doing all the final arc shit. Get ready.
Yeah, because like next episode, freaking the Earth Garon gets wings.
Yeah, he flies now.
Yeah, they fly now.
Funny joke.
Yeah, funny reference to terrible Star Wars movie. But yeah, I guess to like wrap up our thoughts on Blazar, I've been really enjoying this show. Like just some solid character. It's not the best Ultraman show, but it's a great like evolution of the new generation formula that they've been like building here.
Yeah, I gotta wait until it's over, but I feel like if they can give like a really fun, bombastic, satisfying end that like answers all the questions we've had about the conspiracy and about Blazar himself so far, this might be the best Ultra show I've seen.
Yeah, I can see why like your limited experience you would say that. And like it might be like the best one of like the last 4, though Decker and Zed are still really good. So
yeah, like it's. I don't know, Zet's my fucking guy, so it's gonna take a lot to topple him, but I'm not unconfident that this team can deliver.
Yeah, like I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see what they cook. And yeah, so go watch Blazar. It's on YouTube, English sub and dub.
Go watch Johnny Young Bosch be an Ultraman.
Yeah, you got some really funny voice direction in the dub of this episode.
Oh, I didn't have time to watch it yet. Oh, I gotta watch that now.
Yeah. All right. I guess, yeah, that's Ultraman for Twit. All right.
That's it. It's over.
It's over. Ultraman's done being discussed on the show. Sad. All right. Speaking of things I'm tired about, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, episode 4. Actually, okay, I'm not going to be so pissy. This is actually their best episode yet.
See, and I have nothing new to say. I feel exactly the same way about this episode that I did the last episode.
I just like this one because it's like, oh, character building, and it's like, cute character building, and it's like, oh, there's stakes and danger. It's not just people talking about shit we can't see. It's people experiencing shit.
Yeah, it's good that they finally got there. And like the character building is solid. I still feel the same way about all the characters I did at the end of
Yeah,
last episode.
yeah, it's more of a technical improvement than like an enjoyment event, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
I will
Either
not be
way,
continuing.
I'm not gonna like continue this week to week, but once it's all out, I might like binge it in a weekend.
Yeah, maybe I'll finish it if like someone like goes like, "Oh, there's a crazy scene at the final episode," or something, or like
Monk shows up and he shares a beer with fucking Kurt Russell. It's
yeah.
amazing.
Okay, I unironically want that, but yeah, this is just like not my kind of show. But hey, it at least got technically better.
Yeah.
All right, now on to the last superhero time of Twit. Comment under Gutshard, episode 13. Rescue Unity X Forever.
This was a pretty solid end to this arc.
Yeah, it's a nice, like, I like how this is technically a three-parter, because it's like we have the establishing of Sabimaru and the UFO in the episode 11, then episode 12 everything goes wrong, and then this episode, like, we fix everything. It's just a really wholesome, like, little end. It's just nice end, and, yeah, just a cool fight. I really like the fight in this episode, really, yeah.
Yeah, it's good use of their effects budget, I thought. Never felt like they were getting too big for their britches.
Yeah. Really, I don't know what to say. There's not really much to say about this week other than it's good or it's bad or I don't know. It's like
I mean, like we're like I think the audience now is pretty definitively sure that the fucking alchemist order are a bunch of secret assholes, right?
yeah, they have their Emperor Palpatine hoodies and shit.
Yeah, that's gonna be the Christmas twist. Is it's gonna be like, all right, for the rest of the show, we're fighting the alchemist order.
I don't think we're gonna be fighting them, but I think they need to be like the way you do alchemy is wrong. Like, or just like you need to loosen up, man, or something.
Yeah,
I don't think they're
the
villains.
rest of the show is going to be Hotaro trying to pass like alchemy laws to get major reforms to happen.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be villains because we already have a villain faction. But like,
I wonder if like the guy we saw who was specifically like, no, we're not doing that. Fuck you to Teacher Man this week. I wonder if he might not show up at Christmas and kill all the sisters and be like, all right, I'm the villain now.
That would be kind of lame. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Gotchard can go any way right now, and yeah, it's still very early on, but I really enjoy Gotchard. I think it's a fun show.
Yeah. I may keep up with it week to week still. It's going to depend on how I feel over the next couple of weeks. This may wind up being one that like I come back to in like a year or two and I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch it all at my own pace now. I'm going to start back from the beginning.
Yeah, it does seem kind of like a show like me and Tim would annoy you about being like it's so good, like Saber. Like you gotta catch up.
Yeah, this is the new Saber, everybody, even though I still haven't watched Saber.
Yeah. But yeah, Kamen Rider good. Man, what an interesting year for Kamen Rider. We had Geats, most people like that, and then Shin Kamen Rider finally happened. Like that's been like a big like thing, like finally ending the Shin trilogy, and now we got Gotchard. What an interesting year.
And Gotchard was really interesting, and the first couple episodes were pretty exciting to talk about. And now I feel like us and Boingo are the only people talking about it.
I mean, people are talking about it, just not as much as they should be. And it's like, oh, it's mostly just Gotchard Kitty, Gotchard, just making just general statements about like the show instead of like going deep into it, And it kind of the same applies for King-Ohger, where people will just poke at like the superficial shit,
Yeah. Speaking of which.
Oh yeah. King-Ohger, episode 39, the battle to rule Nekosopa. Nekosopa. I can't say words. What do you think, Vac?
This episode was fine, but man, I am so fucking wore out on this show, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I like this show, but like, I think I need a break.
Yeah, I think this is one of those Sentais where I probably wouldn't mind its quirks and foibles if I was watching it at my own pace, but watching it week to week, like whenever an episode isn't really good, I find myself halfway through going, why am I watching this?
Yeah, this episode was mostly just action scenes, and they're like, there's some flaws with the action scenes. I think they use a bit too much shaky cam and blur, But the actual choreography was good.
I did notice like some weird artifacting with the volume green screen shit where like there's a couple scenes early on in Nekosopa where they're standing on a street and you can see like they took the regular Nekosopa model and they like just dragged and dropped some PNGs of trash piles into it and you can see those kind of like jittering around as the camera moves and that bothered me.
Yeah,
Um
that's fair.
Also, I saw that twist coming from a mile away.
Oh, with Racules?
No, with the computers all being decoys.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think everyone did.
Yeah. I was like, this is one of those moments where you go like, oh yeah, Sentai's a kid's show because this is supposed to be really impressive, even though it's a plot twist that literally every fucking kid show does.
Yeah.
So yeah, King-Ohger's not bad, but like, I ain't fucking coming back for another 22 minutes of Prince next week. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, the Prince stuff next week. I think the plot they're building around Gira, if they play their cards right, it could be interesting to have Prince there thematically. But like, well, I need some time. I'm just gonna wait till the show's over, then shotgun the final 10 episodes because it's confirmed King-Ohger is gonna go on for 50 episodes specifically.
Okay.
So, yeah. Except
Yeah,
for what Boom
that
Booger
might
will
be
bring.
fine to do. I might do that as well.
Yeah. Except for what Boom Booger's gonna do, because I think like Sentai's the only one we concretely have. This is the next one, you know?
Yeah, I do want to know what Boom Boonger looks like. That's one of the very small regrets I have about ending Twit here is we're not going to get to give our initial reactions to Boom Boonger.
Yeah, we only got to cover the logo at maximum.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready for the final new release?
Sure.
All right. Dun 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 dun. Godzilla -1.
I was really wondering if you were gonna say Gojira.
I wasn't. I should have. Dang it. But yeah, what do you think, Vac?
I absolutely loved this movie. I think this might. God, it's hard to decide because there have been a lot of really fucking good movies, but this is at least in my top 3 favorite movies I saw this year. It really fucking impressed me in a lot of departments. Acting, VFX, writing, all of it was just fantastic. And I can't believe I'm going to fucking say this, but I think they outdid Shin. I think this is my new favorite Godzilla movie.
Yeah, it's real close to Shin. I think Shin just edges it out because I like the Godzilla design better in Shin. But this has my favorite story out of the two.
See, I can see why you would like the Godzilla design in that movie more, but I like Godzilla as a character more in this movie because the thing is, Shin portrayed Godzilla as just like a force of nature. Like his only real movements were just walking in one direction. Occasionally he would do other stuff, but he was just kind of this big ominous statue in the middle of Tokyo. And then Legendary has tried to treat Godzilla like a person. Like, they keep trying to be like, oh, like, they try to play him like he's a fucking superhero of, oh, he's got to step in and restore order to the balance of nature. He's the fucking kaiju Superman police guy. And Godzilla's just a fucking animal. Like, there are scenes of this where I'm watching the Godzilla animation and the way he's moving, and I'm like, that just looks like my dog when it really wants to go outside. That on a lizard that fucking big is scary, dude.
Yeah, I do like the Godzilla and Shin more, but that's not saying the Godzilla here is bad at all. It's a really good depiction of especially the atomic breath. I love the toyetic, like,
oh
little
my
scaling.
God. Where is my fucking Godzilla toy where you pull out his dorsal fins to reveal blue plastic and then slam them back in to fire a missile?
Oh my God, that just it's such good toyetic, but like actually scary like character design.
By the way, that was the thing a couple weeks ago when we got the second full trailer where I was like, there's a thing in this trailer at the end where I saw that and I went, how has nobody ever done that with Godzilla before?
Yeah, I think I figured it was like, oh, that's what Vac was talking about, like when I left the
Yeah.
theater.
And
Well, it's
also
also just nice to
it's
see this in a theater, you know?
yeah, and it's also fucking crazy that the atomic breath is like a pinpointed shot to create a miniature atomic blast.
Yeah, because like radiation is like all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, like they mentioned in the movie, hey, there's some radiation poisoning around. Like now that after the atomic breath.
Yeah, and at the end, it looks like a main lady person has some kind of like radiation morphogenetic shit on her skin.
Yeah, so like even if like she did survive, she's not gonna be like whole
She's scarred
again.
for life, and because of the way Japanese culture is, she's probably gonna be like a fucking pariah outcast outside of her family for the rest of her life.
Yeah, it's a very bittersweet end. Just the whole movie's bittersweet. It's such a great story.
Like, oh man, I felt for Soldier Dude so bad. There
Yeah.
were
Oh,
scenes where I was like, all right, you're gonna yell at me. There were scenes where I was like, this is how I want Supergirl to be written, because this is
oh my
really fucking
god.
sad, and I feel it in my bones.
Wait, are you talking about the main character or
Yeah,
the
when he's like,
Koichi? His name's Koichi.
yeah, when Koichi's like having his panic attacks, I'm like, I have wanted to see a scene like this in a Supergirl comic for so fucking long. I have wanted a scene where she wakes up from a nightmare about Krypton like this.
I can understand where you're coming from, but I'm just like, damn boy. Like I felt this movie on a personal level that
Mhm.
like this entire year has been not well good for me. I'll put it that way. And just seeing a character just kind of like going through that shit, like
Yeah,
yo,
not to
the
mention this movie just lines up with my personal politics better than Shin did. Where like Shin is like bureaucracies and government are fucked, but maybe if we wait for all the boomers to die off, we can fix some things. This movie is like, no, government is not going to help you at all. Being in the military fucking sucks. You should not throw your life away for rich people. All you can do is try and fix the problems in your world on your own with your neighbors.
Yeah, just like people, just regular old people who do have military experience, but they're still regular old people just banding together to defeat this. And I have seen conversation, and we're probably gonna see conversation in the coming weeks of if like how like jingoistic or like nationalistic is this movie, and like
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to hear that from like actual Japanese people.
It
Uh,
definitely, like, even as an outsider looking in who knows a lot about this period of Japanese history, I think I've said this several times before in my career, but I used to be obsessed with World War II as a kid.
yeah.
So like, I think this movie definitely is a little jingoistic, but not in like a poisonous way, like we tend to think of that word.
Yeah, like in the story, I still think the story and messages are still personal and good enough where I can excuse like any like overtones. Like it's still like we'll call them out, but it's not like as bad as it be, you know?
hmm the one small mark, well, actually, you know what? I take that back. I have two small marks against this movie that keep it from being a 10 out of 10 for me. It's a 9 out of 10, but there's two things that I'm like, meh, I could have done without that. That could have been a bit better. And that is, I don't love the little tease at the end of Godzilla coming back. If that
Yeah,
had, if it had been post credits, it would have been fine. But to have it right there at the end, after we just got the happy bittersweet reunion, I was kind of like, that's like a little middle finger to the audience. Come on, don't do
yeah.
that.
I know
Um,
Yamazaki wants to make another one, but come on.
and I'm down for another one, dude. I'm fucking down. But I just don't like that you teased it so hard at the end there after like continuously driving home that they had to stop this thing once and for all at the end of the movie, and you gave us a big like they fucking did it. Um, and the other oh, drop something, excuse me. The other little mark against it I have is I don't love the editing. It's pretty good, but a lot of the scene transitions are kind of rough. Like the movie tends to just go like, "Oh, they're fucking here now. Oh, it's fucking nighttime now. Oh, it's a fucking year later now." And like I I don't know, because like I wasn't looking at the script or all the raw footage they had, but I feel like you could have made some of those feel a little more gentle or natural.
This is also like Shin had really good editing, I think. So
Yeah.
so it's like going from that to like a bit more of a basic editing. You'd kind of notice that kind of downgrade.
hmm Uh, but I still really, really like this movie. I want to see it again as soon as it's
Yeah,
on home video. And
I'm glad it's doing well with just everyone. Everyone's loving this.
yeah, it seems like it's broken through a little bit into the Western mainstream. It's the highest grossing Godzilla movie to be released in America so far.
Yeah, well, look what happens when you like promote your shit and like put it to a wide audience.
Yeah, how about that, Toei?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, all the only other thing I can say is I can't fucking wait for James Rolfe's review. I really want to know how he feels about this
Oh yeah,
movie.
he really liked it from like his Twitter post. He's making a review, so
Yeah,
yeah.
that's gonna be. I haven't done this with James Rolfe in fucking ages, but that's gonna be one of those things where, like, as soon as I see it in my sub box, I'm gonna take a break from whatever I'm doing to watch it.
Yeah, it'll be just the fact that like just everyone, Godzilla fans, movie fans, people are just really jazzed about this movie. It makes me happy because like
Yeah.
when I saw it on like Wednesday night, like oh okay, I have a theater story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to like I was worried there for a second because I know some of my friends they went to their showings and it's like well they didn't have the movie so we got refunded. So I was worried.
Really?
And like here's the thing. My theater screen was black, and it was 15 minutes after. So me and my cousin, who I saw the movie with, we went to like say like, "Hey, the movie hasn't started. It's been 15 minutes. What the heck's going
Mm-hmm.
on?" And I basically had to save my showing by telling them that, and then they actually started the movie.
Huh.
So like,
See, I saw it on Thursday night, and I checked that day because when I bought my ticket like a month ago, I was the first one to buy a ticket for that showing, so I got to get a seat right in the middle of the theater where I like. Um, but I went and checked that day, and I was like, "Damn, still no one has reserved seats for this. I wonder if I'm gonna have the theater all to myself." And then I got there, and like 2 minutes before the show time, a like horde of people poured in, and they weren't all together. They all went to like different little corners of the theater, but like 20 or so people poured in. And then we sat through, I'm pretty sure, 35 minutes of trailers and advertisements
oh
for
yeah,
American shit I didn't care about. And I was a it was like if if we have to sit through another full trailer after this and then another one starts, I don't care what the trailers are, I'm getting up and I'm going and knocking on the projection store because this is ridiculous. I've seen a
yeah.
lot of movies in theaters, but I've never had to sit through this many fucking trailers.
Yeah, the trailers did feel a bit much. I did like seeing like I'm kind of mixed on seeing the trailer for the new Ghibli film. That was really the only one I really remember seeing.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah,
I
hopefully that's good.
I could probably remember, like, oh yeah, I saw that if I watched it again, but the only one that I remember is Aquaman because I went like, oh, I've seen this trailer before.
And you're
For
a DC guy.
yeah. But no, -1 really fucking good. I'm glad we got to talk about this before ending the show.
Yeah, it's a good cap off. We kind of started with a Godzilla film, an episode that's gotten lost to history because of audio issues with
Hmm.
like the freaking Godzilla versus Kong. Like that was one of the earliest like big event movies we covered, and we get to end with a big event movie.
How about that? And I guess just real quickly to say, uh, I don't think you watched any old stuff or got any toys this week.
Only Doctor Who, but we're done doing that gag.
Yeah. Um, I watched literally one episode of Agito this week, and it was episode 27 because I was gonna try and finish it by because I was like, oh, I'm doing a live stream on Saturday, so I don't have to edit any night after work this week. So I'm just gonna go home and watch Agito until I fall asleep for the next 4 nights. And then I finished episode 27, and Shoichi lost his fucking memories again, and I literally got pissed off at the show. And I'm like, you know what? You and me are going on a break. Fuck you. That's offensive.
No, it's part of a mini arc, so
I'm
hopefully.
sure it is, but I was still like, fuck you, show that came out years before I was into this franchise.
What a way to end this. What a way to end.
In a way.
Yeah, freaking ending with a fish shaking to a Japanese writer we'll never meet.
Oh, I don't know about that. Anything's possible.
You never know.
Yeah, maybe one day Inoue will go to an anime expo.
Oh, I hope. I'd actually suffer through an anime expo to meet you in a way.
Yeah. I I'd show up and I'd shake his hand and I'd be like, "This is for Dom Brothers," and then I'd punch him and I'd be like, "That's for guys."
That's oh man, what a show, what a the only Tokusatsu podcast to exist. There's
Yeah.
been no others. I don't know what I
Only
know.
other
There's
ones are mainly Power Rangers podcasts, and most of them suck. And I literally made this show to try and fill a void in the kind of Tokusatsu podcast I liked, which hasn't existed since Rider Club Radio went off the air.
and now
And
we're going off the air.
yeah, though, is it okay if I say this?
Sure.
I know you and Boingo are possibly cooking something up for next year, so if that does happen, I do look forward to listening to it, and I think anybody who's a fan of this should as well.
Oh yeah, like me and Boygo are like we're in early talks. We're not sure, but we do want to do a Toku show again. So
Mhm.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, for right now, at least this version of Twit is over.
Yeah, the freaking the Vac and Buster version.
Yeah, the Vabuster era.
The Vac era, because you're leaving. I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm not leaving.
You can't make me leave.
Yeah.
You're like in the fucking shotgun shack that is Twit, sitting below a window, going, "You cops will have to take. You'll never take me alive, coppers. I'm gonna be talking about Tokusatsu for my whole life."
Yeah, and you can. Hey, if you want to see still me talk about Tokusatsu, YouTube channel. I do lots of videos on Toku. Like we just did a Gokaiger video, and we also did my own standalone video on -1. If you want to hear a bit more refined opinions on my thoughts. Although like I think I like if you want to hear more of I talked a lot about Godzilla there. I talk a lot about the human plot here. On the video. But like point
Yeah.
is, go subscribe to my channel if you want to keep hearing me talk about Toku. I'll definitely be covering King-Ohger's second half when that finishes. Gotchard definitely. What else? Ultraman Blazar eventually. I don't really cover Ultraman shows when they finish because I'm still working my way through a lot of the franchise. Yeah, just go there for like old and new Toku stuff.
Yeah.
Vac, where will you be for like 2 weeks?
If you want to see my last 4 videos, first one comes out on Friday at The Vacuuminator here on YouTube. I also have various social medias that are down in the video description, along with all the news links and everything. If you want to check that out, hey, I'm sure a couple of them will survive my retirement. I'm not sure which couple yet, though, so you gotta go follow them all! But until then, for the last time, that's everything that happened this week in Toku. So we'll see you some other time, some other place, for whatever happens that week in Tokusatsu.